Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Northeast Living. I'm Mark Jennings, your host. After a tragic home invasion and fire at the Pettit's house in July 2007, family members visited the home to see if anything could be salvaged. Michaela Pettit's uncle discovered her garden and the seeds for the Michaela Garden Project were sworn. Elaine Irvin had the chance to learn how one family overcame the most unthinkable tragedy. We can all learn from this. Take a look.
All families go through their trials and tribulations, some more than others, like the Pettit family, whose name we're very familiar with through the national news. Although we may think tragedy when we hear the name, some good has come out of it.
After losing his family in a home invasion that went awry back in July 2007, William Pettit asked his brother-in-law Dennis Chapman to go back to their home and get the flowers he and his 11-year-old daughter Michaela planted. Her favorite 4 o'clock flowers started a fundraising project that helps many families in need. Dennis Chapman explained to me how the project got started.
You know, this whole project started about 4 years ago when at the time I didn't know it was going to be a project. I didn't do it for that reason. I did it because we wanted to try to save something that kind of reminded us, you know, of Michaela and her passion for flowers and gardening and cooking. She loved to cook. People plant these flowers and collect the seeds, send the seeds back to the foundation. We have gardens now throughout the country, probably in 19 states that I'm aware of.
After receiving the seeds from the volunteers that help plant and harvest them, they place 25 seeds in each envelope to sell and raise money for the foundation.
We asked for a $10 donation for a pack of seeds. We can literally raise $250,000, $300,000 this year. That's going to help a lot of people.
The Michaela Garden Projects help support education and provide shelter for domestic violence victims, like the Prudence Crandall Center or the Susan B. Anthony Center. It also helps people with chronic disease because Jennifer Pettit had MS.
This is what the seeds look like, and I said they're about the size of peppercorns.
But it's easy to seed them then, right?
Very easy. This is one of the 4 o'clocks that we put in 2 months ago. This flower will die off, and a seed will set at the base of it here. And this is green now. That has to mature a little bit more, and it will turn brown and black. While that's happening, this other one here, which is a couple of days behind it, will come out and bloom. They come out in stages. This will literally bloom from now until first frost. When I plant mine in the spring, I loosen the ground, the surface a little bit, not a lot. You can use your finger, you can use a pencil or whatever, just make a slight indentation. Drop your seed down in there, put it in there, cover it up. It all starts with a seed and a little patting them down to make them cozy. That was one of Michaela's favorite expressions.
So if you want to help out with the Michaela Garden Project, you can either donate money or your time. Visit their website for more information.
When considering purchasing an outdoor dining room set, never buy the complete set. That's just too matchy-matchy. Go ahead and use old pieces with new pieces and intertwine different elements of Mother Earth. Here's a perfect example. I took my budget and I focused on the core part of this design, and that was my table. I complemented it with my old teak chairs, and then I've added some outdoor wicker chairs. All three are very different, but together they're quite harmonious and it creates a great space. Also, when you're not using your dining room space, go ahead and use it as a display area. Here's a perfect example how I've created a different little vignette that is being displayed when I'm not using it. I have it layered, I have different textures, some wonderful collectibles, some beautiful topiaries, and I'm also using these great balls to reflect light. Speaking of reflecting light, I love to do the unexpected. So when I can take the mirror from being inside and incorporate it on the table outside, well, that's what I'm all about. This is a great way to create a very special focal point, and it's easy on and easy off as well. For me, all I really need is two people to sit down. But every once in a while, I do entertain. That's when I can clear off the table and set it for a larger party. And lastly, whenever possible, go ahead and incorporate outdoor lighting over your outdoor dining room space. That mimics whatever your dining experience is indoors outside. All you have to do now is invite some guests over and start dining outside with style.
In today's Health Key Report, you hear it all the time, eat right and exercise, right? But how much you eat is critical. Portion control is a big part of your weight loss success. And here to talk to us about portion control is Dr. Tim Harlan. He's from drgourmet.com. Dr. Harlan, thanks for coming.
Great to be here.
All right, good to see you. All right, so let's talk about portions. You know, I mean, America is so supersized that restaurants are giving us these huge portions.
Big portions, 2,000 calories, 3,000 calories.
Why?
Because they think it's value. And it's value for money. And in truth of fact, it's just harming America. People are getting overweight because of this. And a lot of the problem, I think, is people don't recognize what a real portion is.
All right, well, let's get to that because real portions are, let's say you're going to have some breakfast, right?
But if you're going to have breakfast, you know, slice of toast, that's one serving. Now, if you're a guy like you or I, you might have 2 slices of toast because that's 2 servings for you. This is a big one. Bagels, 1/2 of the bagel is a serving.
Right.
1 cup of the cereal, okay? Not a big bowl of cereal, just 1 small bowl.
Right,
okay?
but you talk about having these things, but at breakfast time, don't you want to make sure you're getting some protein to feel full? You got to have some other stuff,
with
right?
this, some cream cheese, some cheese, a piece of toast and an egg, peanut butter, another great choice for breakfast.
All right, let's talk about this here. How important, look at these portion control. This is uncooked, this is cooked.
Right, and this is one of the places where if you do this at home and you learn to recognize it, then when you go to restaurants, you'll know that this is 1/4 cup of rice, and then it comes out to about 1/2 cup cooked. 6-ounce potato. You get potatoes like this all the time, and it's twice what you actually need.
So you need to measure these things at home. Do I have to be that crazy?
I do. And I think at first, if you do that, you measure everything out, you weigh out the pasta, 2 ounces of pasta, 4 ounces of meat, etc., the animal protein like fish or chicken, you know then when you go to the restaurant exactly what you're eating.
All right, and protein, I want to get it about the size of my fist.
About a deck of carbs. About a deck of carbs.
All right, Dr. Tim Harlan, thanks so much.
Great to be with you.
Great information. All right, for more information about portion sizes and other great weight loss tips, go to healthkey.com.
Thank you, Dr. Steve. You always have such great health tips and information. We're going to take a short break, but before we do, I have this week's fun trivia question for you. Who once said the greatest miracle known to man is compound interest? I'll have the answer for you when we return with more Northeast Living. Don't go away. So, do you know who once said the greatest miracle known to man is compound interest? The answer is Albert Einstein. But you don't have to be an Einstein to be able to get a handle on your personal finances. All you need to know is a great financial planner. And boy, do I know one. Take a look. We're in Westport, Connecticut, where I'm meeting up with one of my friends, David Bozar. Now, he's a chartered financial analyst and a certified financial planner professional, one of only 2,000 professionals worldwide who hold both these prestigious titles. Now, David is passionate about making a difference, so I thought we'd learn about the man and his company, Emerald Wealth Advisors. David, good morning to you.
Mark, good morning.
Welcome to my office. David, I know this is not the traditional place to meet, but you know, I want to learn more about you because you've been on Wall Street for over 20 years, you've had your own company. Tell me, how did you get started?
I got involved in the business right after college. In college, I had an interest in understanding the markets and in security analysis, so I was lucky enough to get into the business in the early 80s, right when we were going into the very big recession. I was just thrown in right away into a very difficult environment for investments. So I was really learning very, very quickly. So I did that for the first about 20 years, and then I said, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? So I decided to focus in on working with individuals, entrepreneurs, and for families and small business owners, really to try to move out from the institutional side, just working strictly with investments, but working holistically with people to help them with their lives.
In today's economy, what do people really need to know?
Well, I always go back to the basics. You have investments and you have the whole rest of your life. And I think so many people tend to focus on just investments. When I was working on Wall Street, I saw that there was some type of a real disconnect where the main focus was on investments, investments, investments. But I learned that there's a whole nother life out there that people are concerned with. Education, retirement, insurance, what happens if they can't get up tomorrow, those types of things. So I always tell people, remain focused on the long term, stay very balanced, stay well diversified, stay very flexible, and really just try to think about what the goals are and what can go wrong in your life with investments and outside of the investments as well.
Now, David, I've known you a long time. I even taught your daughter how to skate way back when. I see you at all these different charity events.
I try to get involved and to make a difference in my community, meet the other people, and it's really a lot of fun. I have a family, a wife that we just had our anniversary for 20 years. I have 2 children, a lovely daughter who's going to be starting high school, and a son who's going to be going into the middle school. He's involved in the Scouts. I serve as the treasurer of the Boy Scouts, and I've been involved in a lot of different charitable activities.
Well, your passion shows. So get your financial checkup with David Bozard. David, thank you so much on this perfect day to meet with me.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark.
Here at Mystic Aquarium, Close Encounters of the Incredible Kind is an everyday occurrence. Whether it be watching a penguin waddle, touching a ray, or feeling the splash from a beluga whale, you'll be closer to ocean life than you expected. The sea lions have always been entertaining, and you can learn a lot about them during the Sea Lion Show. The aquarium's extremely visual and educational. Now it's known as New England Hands-On Aquarium. They have a lot of interactive hands-on exhibits here, like the Birds of the Outback, where you can feed the birds. And where else can you pet a shark and come back with both hands? At Mystic Aquarium, feeding time is everybody's favorite time.
Our penguins like fish. We feed them mainly herring and capelin, and then we also give them squid. They don't really have a gag reflex like we do. They can kind of open their throat up and swallow that right down. They do get in the water quite frequently following a feeding. They don't have to follow that 30-minute rule that we do. They are very good swimmers. They can swim for short periods of time up to 25 miles per hour. It's kind of difficult to tell them apart, so the bracelets has worked really well for us.
And you have the Penguin Run Walk coming up too,
yes, right? It's a 5K run and a 2-mile walk. You can bring your dogs to help save this amazing species.
Huh. Well, I'm really liking you. I might take you home. I love all the hands-on interactive exhibits at the aquarium, especially the beluga whale interaction. They're very curious creatures.
Oh boy.
So this is Juno. He's 9 years old, 11 feet long, and weighs in at about 1,400 pounds. Reach on in there and give him a pat on the tongue. Perfect. They do have the nickname of sea canary because of how diverse their vocal ability is. So they can produce very high-pitched as well as very low-pitched. So I'm gonna have him demonstrate some of those for you. So he has this lower pitch. He's also got a higher one. Good job.
Wow.
And then
now,
I'm gonna
do these sounds underwater?
They do, yeah. One really important vocal that they do underwater is called a click. And it sounds like this. Good job. They have a really powerful spitting ability, so he can take up to a gallon of water into his mouth and spit it down into the sand and the mud to find anything tasty down there to eat.
As we were talking, the bucket full of fish floated away, but Juno's so well behaved, he retrieved it for us.
Can you retrieve my bucket? What a good boy. Underneath their skin, they have about 4 to 6 inches of blubber. So that's what's really important in keeping them nice and warm in the winter time. I'm gonna have you do another tongue pat to say goodbye with Juno. Great.
For more information on the beluga whales or upcoming events at Mystic Aquarium, visit their website. I'm here at Superior Hearth Spa and Leisure on Route 44 in Avon, which has been a family-run business for over 44 years. Let's take a look inside at their spas and their stoves. Hi, Rick. It's nice to meet you. And look at this showroom.
Welcome.
This is amazing.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
You have something for everybody here.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's take a look around.
Sure.
So this is the top-selling hot tub out here right now, right?
Yes, it is. It's the Sundance Optima.
What makes this so special?
Well, first of all, it's a Sundance. Sundance is the largest manufacturer of acrylic spas in the world. They're a worldwide company, selling in Europe, North America, all over. And simply put, it's the best built hot tub. It's going to last you 20 years.
So these jets look a lot different from any other jets that I've seen in hot tubs.
These jets are made from a company that actually do work for the military and work for the industry. It's going to emulate a true massage. Whether they're going like this or with the thumbs, it's all the same. They want to give you gentle to firm.
Feels like you're going into a spa and having a masseuse.
Hey, but you know what? This masseuse, their hands never get tired.
Yeah, I love that. So what got you into selling spas?
Well, I've been with the company for 30 years. I was 17 years old when I came out of high school, skipped college, just School of Hard Knocks, working at Superior. And I've done every job there is at Superior, and I love working with customers. So Elaine, you gotta check this out.
That is so cool. I want one of these.
It's the most efficient hot tub in the world. You can bring this up 40 degrees off of ambient temperature. So if it's 60 degrees outside, you can bring this up to 100 degrees. That'll cost you less than $10 a month to run with electricity.
Okay, so this is the hearth section, right?
This is actually a wood-burning box. It looks real because there is no glass front for it. It's wide open. We put this box in, we vent it to the top of the roof.
I have 4 big dogs. When I burned the wood stove, they would just all lay around it out in the sunroom. These are the pellet stoves, right?
Correct.
All you have to do is just like put pellets in here?
Yep. It's very safe to the touch.
And you like this particular one, right?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because you found a picture. Yes, that's
Look at this.
That's our stove in our home, and as you can see, we have this big animal on top of it. His name is Simba.
Oh, Rick! Rick!
Elaine, you've been in there for over an hour now.
Hey, you said I can be in here and test this as long as I want, and I plan on being in here as long as I'm enjoying it. If you want to enjoy it too, the best place to be is Superior Hearth Spa and Leisure, located on Route 44 in Avon, Route 322 in Southington, and Route 66 in Marlboro. For more information on the spas or the stoves, visit their website.
Don't go away. We'll have more Northeast Living after this. Welcome back to Northeast Living. Nestled on the banks of the Connecticut River in East Haddam stands a castle just waiting to be explored. Check it out. Welcome to Gillette Castle. Now, who played Sherlock Holmes more than 1,300 times in a career that lasted over 30 years? Well, it was William Gillette. Let's take a look at his amazing castle and his life. Matthew's been here 3 years and he's my private tour guide. So let's start with a little history. Tell me a little bit about William Gillette.
Well, he was born in 1853 in Hartford. He was a really smart kid. His dad was a senator, but he enjoyed entertaining people rather than more academic pursuits. So right after high school, he moved to New Orleans and became an actor. And he did pretty well because he became the most successful actor and playwright of his generation in America. And his most famous role was as Sherlock Holmes.
There you go.
And I see you came prepared.
Yes, I'm getting into character.
Excellent.
Well, let's walk around, shall we?
Sure thing.
The infamous bar. This is where you would come and get a martini, right?
Sure thing, but it wouldn't be that easy. See, he designed it with a bit of a joke involved. If he had someone here, he may close up the bar, and when their backs were turned, he'd pull out this pin right here and drop it in his pocket. And that releases this little mechanism on a spring that locks the thing up. But he'd then invite his friends to help themselves to a drink, while he excused himself upstairs to change it to his dinner clothes or something.
Did people fight and I want a drink, I want a drink?
Oh, they sure did. And he could watch from the balcony upstairs by looking in a mirror in the Great Hall that reflects back in onto here. When he came back down, he'd have this little strip of metal hidden up his sleeve. This was the key. And while he was telling his friends that there was nothing wrong with the bar, he'd do some sleight of hand to undo the lock and open it right up.
and voila,
Yeah, he had fun.
drinks were served.
Certainly. This is a great one. It's got a big, huge desk and filing cabinet that he inherited from his father, though he added some modifications. For instance, his office chair is built on a track. So it's an early iteration of the rolling office chair. It's 24 rooms originally, all hand-carved oak and local fieldstone, and there's about 47 unique doors, all of them designed by Gillette. He was basically his dream child. It includes hand-carved wooden light switches and a lot of really custom furniture and some of the original art and knickknacks, for lack of a better word, that he lived with here.
Now, this room is the 3rd floor, and it houses what? All his collectible of art that he's collected over the years?
Yeah, he has a library and an art gallery, and the house came with a pretty extensive collections, mostly landscapes and nature pieces from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Come on, Mar, one more thing I want to show you.
The man himself. What a good-looking guy.
Yeah, it's William Gillette, and he was known for being handsome, you know.
Tall and handsome. Well, let me tell you, Matt, it was a great experience to come to Gillette Castle here in East Haddam. And not only is it a wonderful castle to experience, but there's a lot to do. Hiking, picnicking. Thank you so much. I feel very special for the tour. I had such a wonderful day at Gillette Castle. If you haven't been there, you gotta go. And there you have it. On behalf of everyone here at Northeast Living, thank you so much for watching. And make sure you stay tuned for Cars.com's On the Road. Coming up next. I'm Mark Jennings. Goodbye, everyone.